Have you ever considered the spiritual lessons that can be learned from a challenging relationship with a narcissistic father? This may seem like a paradoxical question, but let's delve deeper into the spiritual dynamics at play. When we think of spirituality, we often envision tranquility, harmony, and loving relationships. However, the spiritual journey isn't always smooth. Sometimes it's the rough patches, the challenging relationships that push us towards spiritual growth. And having a narcissistic father can be one such challenging relationship. A narcissistic father can create a complex family dynamic. There may be a lack of emotional support, a struggle for validation, or a constant feeling of walking on eggshells. These experiences can be distressing, but they also hold profound spiritual implications. Spirituality is not just about peace and calm, but also about navigating the storms of life. It's about understanding our pain, our reactions, and our patterns. It's about discovering our resilience and strength amidst adversity. And when we have a narcissistic father, we are often thrown into these storms. We are forced to confront our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our deepest wounds. But, you might wonder, where is the spiritual growth in all of this? The intersection of spirituality and challenging family dynamics lies in the transformation that can occur through these experiences. When we face such challenges, we are pushed to dig deep into our spiritual core. We begin to question our beliefs, our values, our self-worth. We are prompted to seek a higher understanding, a greater perspective. In this process, we may find ourselves developing qualities like patience, forgiveness, empathy, and resilience. We may also discover our capacity for self-love and self-care, recognizing our inherent worth and right to peace and happiness. We may learn to set boundaries, to protect our energy and emotional well-being. Such relationships are indeed challenging, but they can also serve as a catalyst for profound spiritual growth. So as we navigate these complex dynamics, let's remember that our spiritual journey is not just about seeking light, but also about understanding and transforming our shadows. In the face of such a relationship, it becomes vital to establish boundaries for spiritual well-being. Navigating the spiritual landscape of a relationship with a narcissistic father can often feel like traversing a minefield. The unpredictability, the emotional intensity, the constant questioning of your worth, these are challenges that can cause deep spiritual wounds. But remember, dear ones, it's not just about surviving the storm, but learning to dance in the rain. This is where setting spiritual boundaries comes into play. These are not walls to shut others out, but shields to protect your spiritual vitality. Cultivating inner peace is an integral part of this process. It's about nurturing that tranquil space within you, where the chaos of the external world cannot intrude. This is your spiritual sanctuary, your place of respite and rejuvenation. It's where you go to reconnect with your true self, to remember your worth, your power, your divinity. Adopting practices that foster inner peace amidst adversity can range from meditation and mindfulness to journaling, to simply spending time in nature. What matters most is that these practices resonate with you and support your spiritual well-being. However, setting boundaries doesn't mean shutting down our hearts. It's about finding that delicate balance between compassion and detachment. Compassion allows us to recognize the pain beneath the narcissistic behavior, to understand that it's often a cry for help from a wounded soul. But detachment is equally important. It's about maintaining a sense of self, not getting lost in the other's pain, not letting their chaos become your own. Remember, you can care for someone without carrying their burdens. You can understand their pain without it becoming your own. This balance between compassion and detachment is a crucial spiritual lesson in maintaining your sense of self amid challenging relationships. In the end, setting spiritual boundaries is about honoring your spiritual journey, recognizing your worth, and nurturing your inner peace. It's about standing in your power, asserting your spiritual right to peace, and refusing to let anyone or anything disturb that tranquility. Remember, your peace is not a negotiation chip. It's your spiritual right. Forgiveness might seem impossible, but it can be a powerful spiritual tool. These words, while simple, carry a profound truth. When we talk about forgiveness, it's not just about absolving someone of their wrongdoings. It's about freeing your soul from the chains of resentment and bitterness that can hold you down. Think for a moment about the burdens we carry, the anger, the grudges, the painful memories. These are like heavy rocks in our spiritual backpack, weighing us down on our journey. But imagine, if you can, that with forgiveness, you have the power to remove these rocks one by one. As you do, your load becomes lighter, and your spirit is free to soar higher. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget or condone the actions that caused you pain. Rather, it's a conscious decision to release the hold these experiences have on you. It's about choosing spiritual freedom over perpetual suffering. It's about recognizing that holding on to resentment only keeps you tethered to past pain. When you forgive, you reclaim your power. You decide that your peace of mind is more important than nursing old wounds. You realize that you are not what happened to you, but who you choose to become. And in this choice lies a transformative energy, a catalyst for spiritual growth. Forgiveness is not a one-time act, but a constant journey. It requires patience, understanding, and above all, compassion for yourself. It's okay if you can't forgive all at once. It's okay if you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. What matters is that you're moving, that you're trying, and that you're committed to your spiritual well-being. It's important to remember that forgiveness is not about the other person, it's about you. It's about nurturing your spiritual health and cultivating inner peace. It's about not letting past hurts dictate your future happiness. So as you navigate your spiritual path, remember this. Forgiveness is a choice, a gift you give to yourself. It's a step towards healing, towards freedom, towards a life not defined by past pain, but illuminated by inner peace. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means unshackling yourself from the weight of resentment. So release that weight and watch your spirit rise. In the midst of such challenges, self-love can be your sanctuary. This is where we find the sacred in the seemingly mundane, in the quiet whispers of our hearts reminding us of our worth. Cultivating self-love is not just an act of kindness towards oneself. It is a sacred practice, a profound recognition of the divinity within us. It is acknowledging that within each of us is a spark of the divine, a light that deserves to be cherished and nurtured. This journey towards self-love is not always easy. It requires us to confront the shadows within us, to face our fears and insecurities. It asks us to look into the mirror and see not just our flaws, but our strengths, our potential, our beauty. It forces us to question the narratives we've been told about our worth, to challenge the voices that try to diminish our light. Yet it is in this journey that we discover our true selves. It is in the quiet moments of introspection, in the gentle act of self-care, in the courageous act of standing up for ourselves, that we find our authentic selves. It is in these moments that we understand that we are not defined by our past, by the actions of others, or by the expectations of society. We are defined by the love we hold for ourselves, by the respect we show ourselves, by the kindness we extend to ourselves. In this sacred practice of self-love, we learn to honor our needs, to listen to our intuition, to trust in our abilities. We learn to set boundaries that protect our energy, to say no when we need to say yes to what nourishes our soul. We learn that it is okay to put ourselves first, that it is not selfish to love ourselves, that it is necessary. And as we embark on this journey of self-discovery, we realize that self-love is not just about loving ourselves. It is about recognizing our interconnectedness with the universe, our oneness with all that is. It is about understanding that as we love ourselves, we love the divine within us. We love the world around us. Remember, you are worthy of love, especially from yourself. Challenging relationships can serve as mirrors, reflecting our own egos back to us. When we encounter narcissistic behavior, it's like a spotlight illuminating the parts of ourselves that we need to work on. These interactions, as difficult as they may be, are not meant to belittle us, but to strengthen us. Imagine your ego as a stubborn but well-meaning friend. It wants to protect you, but often it does so by encouraging you to build walls, not bridges. Let's flip the narrative. Let's see the ego not as a fortress to hide in, but as a teacher to learn from. In the face of narcissism, we are given the opportunity to learn humility, to understand that we are not the center of the universe. We are also given the chance to nurture empathy, to see the pain that fuels such behavior and respond with compassion, not contempt. Remember, your ego is not your enemy, but a teacher in disguise. In the midst of turmoil, connection with your higher self can be your guiding light. This is a profound truth that transcends the challenges of our human relationships, even those as complex as a bond with a narcissistic father. Imagine your higher self as a beacon of wisdom and tranquility. It's that inner voice that whispers sage advice when the world seems to be shouting at you. It's the comforting presence that soothes your spirit when life storms are raging. How do you connect with this higher self, you may ask? It's about cultivating mindfulness, embracing meditation, and cherishing moments of solitude. It's about listening to the whispers of your soul and honoring the wisdom that comes from within. This connection with the higher self is not a one-time event. It's a journey, a continuous process of self-discovery and spiritual growth. It's about nurturing a relationship with the divine aspect of yourself, the part of you that remains untouched by worldly chaos and strife. Remember, your higher self is always there, waiting for you to listen.